My girlfriend cheated on me with her friend's brother, then claimed she had a right to my home. For context, I and my now ex-girlfriend Sarah were dating for 4 years. We met through mutual friends, and while we had known each other for some time, we didn't start dating for months after initially meeting and attending several events within our friend group. When we did start dating, I made it clear I was only interested in a monogamous relationship. I had no interest in sharing a partner or being shared. For 4 years we were exclusive, or at least I thought we were. Over this time we were both gainfully employed and made good money. Yes, I made more money, but she was by no means poor. I had my own house, a nice fixer-upper I purchased, and I spent the better part of the last 4 years and most of my savings restoring and upgrading it. She helped with some of the basic stuff like painting and cleaning, but most of the meaningful work was done by family and contractors. I did appreciate that she wanted to contribute. Oh, and one other thing. I bought the house a year before we ever met. This is relevant. At roughly our 4-year mark, her lease was about to expire, and she suggested we move in together. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't apprehensive, but I felt it was time to move into the next stage of our relationship. I put on a smile and told her it was a great idea. She made her plans, and just as the final work was being wrapped up on the house, I was putting in solar panels, a tankless water heater, and a water softener. She moved in. She, along with all her girlfriends, handled the move. My house was soon full of clucking hands discussing how they were going to redecorate and turn my man cave into a house that reflected her style and taste, all while giggling as though I had no choice. One of my favorite possessions was my collection of vintage full-size arcade games from the 80s and 90s. I had 7 of them, all in my basement, which I had finished and painted to look like a pool hall and arcade. It even had a full-wall bar with several flat screens. Several neon signs adorned the walls. While they moved, I, along with my 2 brothers, hung out in the basement shooting pool and watching a ball game. My brothers are tradesmen, one is an electrician, and the other a plumber. Thanks to them, we were able to restore the house so cheaply. They hooked me up with other guys to help. That evening, most of them showed up at the house for a celebration of the job being done. When everyone arrived, we had a great time grilling meat, drinking beer, and relaxing outside. The house sits on 3 acres and includes a detached garage. My then-girlfriend was about halfway through her move when guests began showing up. Most of the guys helped unload her boxes and get her stuff out of the way so we could enjoy ourselves. Many were married or had kids, so there were children running around and making a racket. It was a pretty cool scene. A couple of neighbors even showed up with beer and kids in tow. Then it all came crashing down. Turns out my supposedly exclusive girlfriend came face to face with her FWB, friend with benefits. He was the brother of my roofer. I'm sure he didn't know about me because he made no effort to hide their relationship. When he saw her chatting with her girlfriends, he walked across the yard and came up behind her to give her a squeeze. Before I could even get mad, most of her friends were either warning her about her side guy showing up or looking at me to see if I saw what was happening. She had horror in her eyes and immediately turned to see me at the grill, staring her down. She started crying right away. Her friends did their best to get rid of this now very confused guy and shield her by dragging her away. The poor guy stood there while I juggled my emotions, trying to decide if rage was the right one to choose. Her best friend ran to me, saying, "It's not what it looks like." I hadn't even said a word or reacted, and excuses were already flying. The brother was being yelled at by the girlfriends to leave while his brother, the roofer, got involved. The whole circus was probably entertaining to most of the guests, I'm sure. My brother came and took over the grill, while my other brother got between me and the FWB. I was still in shock. My brothers later told me I wasn't saying a word, just staring this guy down. My oldest brother said I looked like I was going to kill him, and my other brother said he was ready to tackle me if I made a move. To cut to the chase, I didn't lose my cool. I regained my composure and went to my basement. The party didn't end. Weeks later, I recalled thinking about how building guys don't leave when there's free beer and food. My brother came downstairs with the FWB, who explained everything. He told me, man to man, that he didn't know she was in a committed relationship. He apologized and explained that his ex-wife cheated on him, which is why he only does casual relationships now. He said she had lied to both of us. That night, I kicked her out. The next day, she came back with her friends, claiming she had a right to stay in my house because she had invested so much in it. Her friends defended her, saying I was overreacting since we weren't even engaged or married. My brothers, their wives, and even the FWB's brother ganged up on her and her friends, calling them out for their behavior. Eventually, we rented a moving truck, packed all her things, and dropped them at her parents' house. Her father, heartbroken, apologized to me and told her she had 1 week to find a new place to live. The next day, she showed up, yelling and cursing me for telling her parents, claiming I had ruined her life. So, was I the a-hole for involving her parents?